Bilbo Baggins is a hobbit who enjoys his peaceful life in the Shire, living in his cozy home, Bag End. His calm world is disrupted when Gandalf, a wizard, visits him one day and casually mentions an adventure. Despite Bilbo's insistence that he is not interested, Gandalf marks his door for a group of 13 dwarves to find. The next day, the dwarves led by Thorin Oakenshield arrive one by one, much to Bilbo's bewilderment. They eat all his food, sing songs, and discuss their plan to reclaim the Lonely Mountain and the treasure hoarded by the dragon Smaug. Thorin is the rightful heir to the kingdom under the mountain, which Smaug has taken over. They seek Bilbo as their burglar to help them steal back their treasure. Bilbo is reluctant, but eventually agrees to join the adventure after Gandalf persuades him, hinting that there is more to Bilbo than he himself realizes. The company sets out from the Shire, traveling through wilderness and encountering early challenges. They face cold weather, rugged terrain, and Bilbo's constant doubts about why he ever left his comfortable hobbit hole. As they traverse the dangerous lands, Bilbo begins to learn more about each of the dwarves. Thorin, the leader, is proud and regal, while the others, like Balin, Dwalin, Fili, and Kili, display loyalty and camaraderie. One of the first major events in their journey happens when they are captured by 3 large, dim-witted trolls. The dwarves are taken while attempting to steal food from the trolls, who argue over how to cook their captives. Bilbo, trying to prove his worth as a burglar, attempts to sneak into the trolls' camp but gets caught. Fortunately, Gandalf arrives in the nick of time, tricking the trolls into staying out in the open until sunrise, which turns them into stone. This rescue marks the first of many times Gandalf saves the company. Inside the trolls' cave, they find weapons and treasure. Bilbo acquires a short sword, which he later names Sting, while Thorin takes a beautiful sword called Orcrist. These weapons, forged in ancient times by the elves, become important later in their journey. Gandalf explains the significance of these swords, which once belonged to famous elven warriors. The next major stop on their journey is Rivendell, the hidden valley where the wise elves live. Here they meet Elrond, an elf lord who welcomes them into his home. Elrond examines Thorin's map and discovers moon runes that reveal the timing needed to find the secret entrance to the Lonely Mountain. The elves are kind but mysterious, and Bilbo feels both awe and discomfort in their presence. The stay in Rivendell gives the group valuable information, supplies, and renewed hope for the challenges ahead. After leaving Rivendell, the company heads into the treacherous Misty Mountains. A severe thunderstorm forces them to seek shelter in a cave. However, the cave is a goblin trap, and they are soon captured by goblins who live deep in the mountains. The goblins drag them underground to their lair, where the Great Goblin rules. The dwarves are interrogated, and it seems all hope is lost until Gandalf reappears and uses his magic to help them escape. During the chaotic escape from the goblins, Bilbo is separated from the group and tumbles deeper into the mountain's depths. Here he encounters Gollum, a strange, twisted creature who lives in the darkness. Gollum challenges Bilbo to a game of riddles, with Bilbo's life at stake. After a tense series of riddles, Bilbo wins by accident, asking, "What have I got in my pocket?" Gollum, unable to answer, becomes enraged when he realizes Bilbo has stolen his precious ring. Bilbo, now in possession of the ring, discovers its magical power. It can make him invisible. He uses the ring to escape from Gollum and the goblins. This ring, though Bilbo does not yet understand its full significance, becomes a critical part of his survival throughout the journey. Bilbo reunites with the dwarves outside the mountain, much to their surprise, as they assumed he had been lost. His adventure with Gollum and his clever escape mark a turning point for Bilbo. Though he does not tell the others about the ring, he begins to gain confidence in his abilities as part of the group. The company, with Gandalf still guiding them, continues onward. The next major challenge is Mirkwood, a vast, dark forest filled with dangers. Before entering, Gandalf leaves the company to tend to other urgent business, leaving them to face the perils of Mirkwood alone. The dwarves and Bilbo struggle through the forest's eerie atmosphere, battling hunger, exhaustion, and despair. Along the way, they are captured by giant spiders who bind them in webs intending to eat them. Bilbo, using his ring and sting, bravely fights off the spiders and rescues the dwarves. This victory over the spiders is significant for Bilbo, as he realizes he is not as helpless as he once thought. His courage and resourcefulness in this moment earn him greater respect from the dwarves, even though Thorin remains somewhat aloof. No sooner do they escape the spiders than the company is captured by the wood elves, who imprison them in their underground fortress. Thorin, proud as always, refuses to reveal their mission to the Elven King, which leads to the entire group being locked in cells. Once again, it is Bilbo who saves the day. Still invisible with the ring, he sneaks around the Elven palace and devises a plan to escape. He hides the dwarves in empty wine barrels that are sent down the river to Lake Town. Though the journey in the barrels is perilous, they eventually make it to safety. The group arrives in Lake Town, a human settlement at the base of the Lonely Mountain. The people of Lake Town, hopeful that Thorin's quest will restore the kingdom under the mountain and bring prosperity, welcome the company with open arms. Thorin, with his lineage revealed, is treated like royalty. The people provide them with supplies and aid for the final stretch of their journey. With newfound resolve, the company approaches the Lonely Mountain. After many days of searching, they finally find the hidden entrance revealed by the setting sun, as foretold by the moon runes on Thorin's map. The door opens, and Bilbo is sent inside to face Smaug. Bilbo, though terrified, sneaks into the mountain's treasure-filled chamber and comes face to face with Smaug, the enormous dragon. Smaug, though vain and cruel, is cunning, and the two engage in a conversation filled with riddles and subtle threats. Bilbo flatters Smaug, using the dragon's pride against him to learn more about his weaknesses. He notices a small bare patch on Smaug's chest, which is not covered by his thick armor of scales. Bilbo narrowly escapes, returning to the dwarves with valuable information about the dragon's vulnerability. Angered by Bilbo's theft, Smaug leaves the mountain to unleash his fury on Lake Town. He flies over the town, burning buildings and spreading destruction. However, a brave archer named Bard manages to slay Smaug by shooting an arrow into the vulnerable spot on his chest that Bilbo had discovered. Smaug's death marks the end of his reign of terror, but it also ignites new conflicts over the dragon's vast hoard of treasure. With Smaug gone, Thorin and the dwarves reclaim the Lonely Mountain and the treasure. However, Thorin becomes consumed by greed, particularly over a gem known as the Arkenstone, the heart of the mountain. Meanwhile, the men of Lake Town, having suffered great losses, and the wood elves arrive seeking a share of the treasure for their aid and to rebuild the town. Thorin refuses, and tensions rise, threatening war. Bilbo, seeing the growing conflict, secretly gives the Arkenstone to Bard and the elves, hoping to use it as a bargaining tool to avoid bloodshed. When Thorin discovers Bilbo's actions, he is enraged and disowns him. Nevertheless, Bilbo remains committed to doing what is right, even if it costs him Thorin's friendship. Before a full-scale war can break out, an army of goblins and wargs descends upon the Lonely Mountain, seeking the treasure for themselves. The dwarves, men, and elves unite to fight the common enemy in what becomes known as the Battle of Five Armies. Bilbo plays a minor role, staying out of the main fighting, and is eventually knocked unconscious during the chaos. When Bilbo awakens, he learns that the goblins have been defeated, but at a great cost. Thorin, mortally wounded, makes amends with Bilbo before dying. Fili and Kili, Thorin's nephews, are also killed in battle. Gandalf helps to organize the final arrangements for Thorin's burial, and the Arkenstone is placed upon his chest as a symbol of his kingship. With the battle over and the treasure divided among the survivors, Bilbo declines his share of the wealth, taking only a small portion. He returns home to the Shire, where he finds that he has been presumed dead and his belongings are being auctioned off. Though his adventure has changed him forever, Bilbo is happy to return to the simple, quiet life he once knew. Like and subscribe to Bedtime Stories in 10 minutes.